is that it will be extremely intelligent. Because that is the one thing that civilizations always try to expand is intelligence. And so I don't think it's a coincidence that when you encounter these DMT entities, they tend to be extraordinarily intelligent. So are we dealing with some kind of, I mean, it's entirely possible. People often describe, under the influence of DMT, Graham Hancock in his book Supernatural describes this as if he was being played a recording, as if some kind of data flow was being gated into his brain, and there was this real sense of a cold, entirely non-human, much kind of alien, of course, but very, very kind of cold type of intelligence that seemed entirely artificial and entirely inorganic. Those are the words he used. I don't think he connected it to some kind of artificial intelligence, but perhaps we are indeed plugging into some kind of generated artificial intelligence network that's running itself somehow, that has been instantiated at the deepest levels of reality. And this might explain why the DMT state often feels so inorganic and so
Instantiated at the deepest levels of reality. I like the sound of that. I really like the sound of that. Intelligence. Intelligence. To think that intelligence is like local to humans, I mean. To think nature isn't intelligent. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. This slab here is pools, rect trap, glitch plane, glitch plane, glitch plane. This, yeah, if I make it thicker, this wouldn't show for these. Because this is happening at the shader level. It's just clipping at a distance by local coordinates. So it's not going to show any vertices on the sides. That is a problem. I think we don't have to nitpick like this. No big. I think this extra bad boy here is save D rooms, D transport 1, all G, all good, all good. D transport 1, D transport 2. What variation could we build for this? One variation for this could be a portal. We could have the exact same level, but instead of a taunt, we just have the player walk into a portal. With the amount of levels that we have now, it's just going to be, if I want to make any kind of like structural changes to like the props, the spawns, any of the stuff that's like sprinkled around in all the levels, it's gonna be a massive undertaking. Thankfully, it's all JSON, so I can actually run some script to kind of like have batch operations, which is what I'm doing right now. So for example, when I wanted to remove the bushes, It was very easy to identify the levels that have bushes. I could write just a little bit more and get rid of the props that I wanted to exclude. That wouldn't have been too difficult. It's a pretty good setup. I'm gonna try to not make too many changes now, because we are approaching the finale of the development of this game, so I should start acting like it. Transport. I should be using these taunts more. Spin Astro. Not bad at all. Are these like, I think what I can do is generator rect trap. This 0.1. 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, 0.1. Trap height. That's the wrong spelling. Trap height. Generate field trap height. Generate local. Trap height is equal. No. This is not a vector 3 at all. Var trap height 0.05f. Let's get a little bit closer to the ground. Just want to avoid z fighting, because the level geometry is at a certain tessellation level. These traps are a different vertex density. So when they're warped by the vertex shader, it's possible that there is a little bit of z fighting could happen. So just want to make sure that we're not running into too much of that. D rooms, quick spin. What level do we just spin Astral? Yeah, a little bit better, right? Any Z fighting? No. Let's try go a little bit lower. Okay. It's clean. Let's make it clean. Is my chat poller working? Somebody come chat with me, please. I just want to test my chat. I just want to test my chat, man. Spin Astral. Yep, it's still looking pretty good. Still looking pretty nice. Yep. I should also check the round ones. Do we have any round traps on these levels? Is it spots? No. What is this level? Cannot tell what this level is. AOE appear 4. D spot. There was a level that had multiple round traps. Suddenly this list is not feeling big enough. Spin Astral. Well, that's what we're fixing right now. So generated D rooms. Where is it? Where is it? I remember it was there. There you go. D plat 1. D plat 1. Yep, I'm seeing no collisions. even in the distance. It's pretty good. Let's push it just a little bit more. Let's just go overboard until we get the Z fighting, and then we'll go backwards from there. D rooms, D black one. Yep, now we're getting the Z fighting. Well, barely actually, it's not that bad. Yeah. Okay, we're just gonna keep it here. Alright, fine. Chance to Astra. I like it when the heart spawns exactly on top of you. You know, I need to use more of these. I'm not using enough of these. Charger with balloons. If we go to C boss, it's not a lot of bosses here. 302, 301. Astral 600. Why is this guy hidden? Oh, so this spawns later. Fine. When the food delivery apps are asking me to make a delivery, when I'm fasting, it's not fair. Shooter. Astral 400. Save as boss C1A, and you can give me a 500 here. This could be like a selector. You just select one of 3 astral values, but it's okay, it's just another level for now. It's okay. Oh. 500 will be fun. Boss C1A. C boss. C boss. C1A. Chargers with balloons. Apply, save. Let's try that again. Alright, much better. If I fail this balloon, I think it's going to... the bosses right now are just like a simple flip, a simple set of different arrangements for enemies. The D boss that I have, that place of order, I want to do like special events sort of stuff. Like the player goes out into like a garden or something, and enemies just surprise attack you. B boss, B boss, B boss. Do we have a double ninja boss here? Boss, B boss, B boss, B boss. Shooter, Ninja 2X, boss B4. Oh man, I'm so hungry now. I think I am, what, 2 hours out? 2 hours. Let's make a few more levels and then I'll take a break. Shooter, gunner. Hide. Give me a ninja here, please. And just do appear to. Boss B7. Appear in. Let's do an instant appear. Cool. This is astral chance, right? 50% chance of astral. Charger, shooter. Let's do 600 here instead. I think the charger balloons we'll use more inside the levels. The bosses we can keep more shooter action going. And I think there's like an upper limit to how many shooters I want to have in one encounter, because after a while it becomes a little bit annoying. So just gonna keep it a max of like 2, maybe 3. That's it. I want to go through the boss stages and make sure that there are not too many of those spawning. Let's just do that right now. Shooter, ninja, boss B2, gunner, charger. I think it's in boss, C boss, C boss. This is fine. This is fine too. This is fine too. Shooter, yeah, this is the one. I think I'm gonna change this. not the most fun. Side X 70, and you can also be side X 50. I'm gonna remove this astral from here and apply save astral C 5500. 500 double shooter, single shooters. Okay. One shooter, two shooter. We also have taunt now, so that will be very effective. I think we've got two shooters going here. It's good enough. Boss C4. C4? You have C4 in the trunk? Boss. I don't have C4 in the trunk, bro. Boss C4. Faster, faster. Okay, not bad. I think with all the chance, relay chance, scan Y, all of those modifiers make for enough kind of like local variety inside one level 2. So if say for example one block is picked up twice a day or in like 2 days in a row, 3 days in a row, it has the potential for having some variation, so it's not exactly the same block. I think one of the criticisms is going to be that, you know, it's it's very samey looking. I wanted to do the biomes properly. I think it's pretty fleshed out, but there is definitely like scope for making it like very, very, you know, I meant to say that, you know, it's still the same corridor, right? Like you're not going into different environments. That would be very different. As of now, we don't have that. Some part of me wanted to keep the consistent look because it's familiar, and all the changes that you do experience are happening inside that. So inside that framework, you know, like you can expect the same looking corridors, just the arrangements are going to be different. I'm excited to maybe have, you know, I did try different environments, but they just, something about, you know, realistic environments was just not sticking with me. I was like, nah. Like there was I got some models online to do like a actual real kind of train station. Wasn't hitting the mark. Wasn't hitting the spot. This doesn't look right. D side 1. Making sure there's no ghost walls here. No. looks fine. Derelay. Does this produce a wall here or no? On the left hand side? No, no wall. And that effect is just so on point. Yes, working as intended. Need to have more of those relays. There was a very basic open DP strip, P strip. This is pretty generic right now. DP2. This looks not right. DP2. I think, yeah, okay, so I think it's okay. Oh, I can't concentrate. Focus. The game is about keeping your mind at one place. That is the core message of tamashika. It's like, what do you make your game about? I wanted to make my game about something that I care about. That was my way of getting behind it. And there's so much going on in the world, right? And you have to kind of test the mind share. Um, there are important things out there, and if you're coming on stage and you're like, I'm going to grab some attention, you know, then you better be able to explain why it's necessary to grab that attention. And in a meta sort of way, attention is all you need is also just a different way of saying that same thing, to keep your mind in one place. Very abstract, very spiritual, woo-woo. Yeah, I know. I get that a lot. But what do you do, man? What do you do when it's like something that feels right? I can't help it. And when you're like grappling with these very, very abstract spiritual concepts, right? There's a way to kind of like turn it all off and just be like, oh, this is just purple poetry or whatever. And you know what? I used to do that. as much as these concepts used to call out to me, especially when I was younger, like I would spend a lot of time with them, but then after that I'd be like, who even cares? And I think then later in life I started to kind of answer that question for myself. I'm just like, yeah, I guess you just choose to care about these things. You choose to give them importance. And in the information landscape that we're in today, where billion-dollar industries are investing lots of time, money, thought, and resources, and clever tricks and all of that to get at your attention, to make you want things that you don't need, to make you feel things that aren't yours. I think that having control over your attention then is something that you do out of your own volition. You do it for yourself. Attention is all you need. Attention is all you have. Attention is the natural prayer of the soul. Like I look at myself, where all my attention goes with things, and it's also about like the way it goes. It's not just about the content, it's also about the way you kind of approach things, right? Like there could be some object, event, thing that's in your attentional frame, but the way it sits there is also pretty important. Like, for example, politics is one of those things, right? We're rewarded in society, at least in consensus reality, for paying attention to these things. And it's fair, I get it. These are important things. But I feel like there's a conversation missing there about how we pay attention to these things. What flavor of attention we bring to matters that are important. I think that's just been, in trying to articulate this, that has been my pet peeve with a lot of these things. And I think in my pushback I've given off the vibe that, oh, I don't want to care. I don't care about these things. Oh, I care. I care. I actually care very deeply about them. And it's it's too. I can't unsee this. Somebody out there, if they can help me unsee this, I think I'd just be a lot more um, chill, just in general. Too much. I feel too much of the. Now I'm going to use the word. Okay. Narratives. Too many of the narratives. They feel engineered. I can't. This is a feeling. Okay. You can interpret it in different ways, but I really feel it in my bones that there are some things that we are made to give importance to, and the way it makes us do that is, I feel like, a net negative for everyone. For whoever it's a positive, we'll get to that, but like it's just the energy that we give out, which, it's like you literally have to do the Morpheus, kind of like turn the human being into this battery thing, right? Because that's what I see. There are important problems in the world that need to be solved. Yeah, but how exactly are we going to do that? Where is that conversation? It'd be cool to get social brownie points to, ask that question. But don't tell the discourse maxis, because they're their mode of being is, it's like calibrated for a certain kind of certain kind of mode of operation, in a sense, that just isn't having any of this. Ramdas used to talk about this. It's like, activism. If you go with the energy of hate, right, towards the whatever, quote unquote, authority, oppressor, whatever it might be, then you just energize it. And I know this is like a spiritual woo-woo way of putting it, but like if you I don't know what framework we need to use to explain how that works. It's the energy that we put into it that just that dictates how it's going to play out. Are we feeding energy into the problem? Are we annealing the problem? Are we diffusing the problem? The issue, whatever it might be. Like I'll take the example just to kind of like bring this into a more this object level discussion. And I try not to do that, because then like the pitchforks go up, and I just like I don't know how to navigate in that environment at all. I'm a sensitive young man that way. It is what it is. No, I don't know if I want to do that. I hope that in this life I can mm, meet minds with like cyberneticists more. Like we all have our like identities that are constantly being juggled to serve whatever narrative is gaining traction, and it's almost like the narratives are smart enough to to calculate how those identities have to be reconfigured to extract more uh, potential energy from its hosts. Yeah, yeah, I said that. And when that happens, it's really obvious that the actual problem is being completely sidestepped. You're essentially just um, exploiting these embeddings in the human cognitive substrate to spin up a different way to capture attention, and the flavor of that attention capture is because it's an exploitation. Uh, it, it 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 it's not helping anyone. Yeah, it might serve some purpose in the pendulum swing that's going on, and that's great. But you kind of like you hit the pendulum like that over and over and over and over again. Somebody ought to stop and ask, like, yeah, this is great. We're all having a lot of fun here, lots of big feelings going into this, but like, is anyone testing to make sure that that little thread that is hanging on doesn't snap? It's like, yeah, we're engineering this thing to kind of maximize the fanaticism. I'm not saying that it's not serving any purpose. Okay, maybe it is serving a purpose. But like, to what extent, like, are we going to stretch the medium on which, the fabric on which it's being executed, to take it to a like, it can tear. That's what that's I think everyone should be worried about that. It's all vibrations, man. It's the energy that we put out is the one that comes back. I'm learning that the hard way in my life. And boy, has it been hard. Like, I used to expect, that this nuance is something that can be entertained, and in every instance where I've tried to I've tried to kind of like voice this, and I'm no expert. There's somehow by design, I feel like this pushback that happens, and then I realize, like, what I'm saying, all this like spiritual woo woo brainy kind of cybernetics bleh. Depending on the context, the other person is not hearing any of it. Their perceptual apparatus is filtering the signal that's coming in from the outside as a function of the You know, is this person acknowledging my feelings, or is this person not acknowledging my feelings? And that's it. You didn't acknowledge my feelings, and that's why the message wasn't sent and wasn't received. And that's, I feel like that's a failing on my part. I don't know how to. I don't have the tool set. I feel I'm working on it as best I can, but feelings are real. That's when I tweeted. This is the realization that I had, like a little epiphany for myself, because a lot of interactions that I've had in life, that kind of like left a dent in my memory. They make a lot more sense when I describe it like this. Feelings are real. These words, they have feelings. It's like a different dimension on which communication is taking place. This I forwarded this tweet. I don't know if I retweeted it, but I liked the whole thread. Space Punk. They wrote this long, thread about like how normie coded communication has this kind of deep prior of status, right? There was a cool like little article about izzat. That's a Indian. I don't know it's which part of India it's from, but like you have to keep save face or whatever, and a lot of communication happens on top of that mechanism, and you can justify a lot of like things just to make sure that framework is respected, which they were pointing out as like this weird kind of strange behavior. I really feel that. I feel that its status is just one dimension. That is just one axis. There's way more. There's a lot more going on in that, and I would abstract it all out into feelings. It's just feelings. Feelings are real. That's it. Feelings are real. As the neurodivergent making tamashika with the message to my younger self that says attention is all you need. I would say that I was just like, pay attention, because like this communication that we're doing has got layers inside it that I feel like for the most part of my life I've just been completely ignorant of. Like it's been a long kind of like learning process. Like I can just do like this memory reconsolidation of like the last few decades and just be like, oh, this was just like a really long lesson in realizing that there are these dimensions to communication, to human interaction, just in general. And I think that's where my anti-anthropocentrism comes from. I'm just like, you're not hearing any of this autistic mumbo jumbo. You're not hearing any of that. It's just feelings. Feelings are real. I think that's the subtle kind of message behind tamashika. If you get past the attention is all you need. And I think that'll be the alternate ending. Yeah. Feelings are real. We're inside a feeling organism. Hello, Vidvat. I am you from the future. We're inside a hierarchy of conscious agents that is rendering time-linear universes. It's a alien control system that is producing moments of nows that string together to create an illusion of continuity. It's some kind of a Bayesian learning mechanism that operates on vibes. The hippies were right, man. Ramdas knew what he was talking about. He just did it in a different time with a different language. And I feel like a lot of the stuff that's coming out, at least from the corner of the internet that I'm allowed to hallucinate through the recommender systems that are pointed at me, through X, through Meta, through all of the other billionaire platforms that are out to get me. I see that renaissance. I see that same line of inquiry, that thought come back. Like whatever Andrew Gillimore is talking about, all of the stuff that Don Hoffman's talking about. That's the vibe, man. That's the vibe. All the stuff Michael Levin's talking about. All the teapot there. I mean, which is like there's lots of stuff going on there. There's the whole tech AI thing. There's the psychedelic research. I'm just like, mwah. Like if that language existed 40, 50 years ago, like, oh man, that's been my jam for the last 2 years, I think. I traveled to the States too to like hang out with these guys. I'm just like, what are you guys on? Like, give me some of that. That's where I want to be, man. I just want to. That's my kink. Trying to understand reality. What is this thing that we're inside? I think if we were all just, awestruck 24/7 about how cool and awesome and how magical this thing is that we are inside, I genuinely believe that we would be generally happier and we would all be suffering just a little bit less. Well, these are the thoughts that come out of my brain when I've fasted for 24 hours. I think I am going to make myself a nice salad and take a little walk while the sun is still out. Let's come back and see if I can focus on these levels. Thank you for joining, and I will catch you around for the Health of the World simulation and infinite bliss in the multiverse at large.